The Industrial Revolution began in Europe in 1760 and marked the transition to the modern global economy we have today. It introduced mass production, which utilizes machinery, technology, land and manpower to produce goods and services on a large scale, previously considered impossible. Europe, with its dense population and internal competition between different countries, was at the forefront of technological and economic advancements even before the Industrial Revolution. They were pioneers of global trade, and the Dutch even created the corporation as a means to finance risky ventures. The combination of global trade, industrialization, and modern corporations has made our world significantly wealthier compared to 2 centuries ago. In fact, the world has generated more economic value in the last 40 years than in all previous years combined since the earliest human civilizations. However, the birthplace of these initial developments, Europe, has started to fall behind. Economic growth in Europe has been stagnant for over a decade, while the rest of the world has been performing relatively well. Notably, countries like China have experienced exceptional growth during this period. When comparing Europe to its most obvious point of reference, the United States, Europe has been faring significantly worse. Both Europe and the United States are large economic regions with abundant natural resources, skilled populations, well-functioning democratic governments, and modern infrastructure, enabling them to be globally competitive in various industries. However, Europe has been lagging behind for quite some time, not just in the past decade. While headline issues like Brexit, the Eurozone crisis, youth unemployment, and social challenges related to aging populations and retirement exist, it is crucial to delve deeper and inquire why this decline is occurring. By continually asking this question, we can uncover the fundamental issues that are impeding Europe's progress. Before moving any further, we would like you to subscribe to the channel for more updates. Europe primarily consists of already advanced economies, especially in Western Europe. While Europe does have its own international companies operating in advanced industries, collectively it has fewer global companies compared to other regions. In fact, Europe has approximately the same number of Global 2000 companies as Japan, despite having a much larger population. In comparison, the United States has roughly twice as many global companies as all of Europe combined. Many of these European companies primarily cater to their home countries. For example, Orange, one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world and the 31st largest company in Europe, may not be well known outside of Europe. While companies can still thrive by serving the European market due to its affluent and advanced economies, these economies reach their advanced status by building modern industries ahead of others. As a result, Europe currently lacks innovative global companies to compete with the United States and emerging players from Asia. To some extent, Europe relies on its historical advancements in advanced countries, while the United States is currently experiencing its prime. It is important to acknowledge that there are exceptions to this general trend. Germany, for instance, is home to many world-leading companies in various high-tech industries. Furthermore, France serves as a global center for fashion, which is a highly profitable and surprisingly large industry. Despite some exceptions, the overall representation of Europe in global corporations is relatively low. It is important to acknowledge that these corporations serve as the pathways through which economies advance. There is a strong correlation between the number of Global 2000 companies per capita and GDP per capita, and in this regard, Europe falls behind. Some may argue that there are many small economies worldwide that have achieved advanced status without being home to major global corporations. This applies to several European countries as well. For instance, Luxembourg has the highest GDP per capita among non-micronations, and although they manipulate the figures somewhat, they do have a prosperous economy in their own right. However, these smaller countries achieve their status by providing services to larger countries that possess global wealth generators. Singapore, Ireland, Hong Kong, Luxembourg, and to a lesser extent Switzerland have all become advanced economies by offering financial services to larger advanced economies. To become an advanced economy, a country needs to have advanced industries that are not heavily reliant on low worker wages. These industries should also have the ability to operate globally and bring profits back to the home country. Europe initially had an advantage as the first continent to undergo industrialization. However, it is now falling behind the United States and Asia, particularly in the tech industry, which is relatively easy to operate globally. The surface-level issues that make headlines have been further exacerbated by this lack of global operations. To delve deeper, we need to ask the next obvious question: why doesn't Europe have more global companies? Directly comparing the underlying characteristics of the United States and Europe is challenging. The United States is one country, albeit large and diverse, while Europe is composed of numerous countries with different languages, governments, and significant variations in productivity. In fact, the differences within Europe may be even greater than the differences between Europe as a whole and the United States. Generally, European countries are considered more egalitarian, placing greater emphasis on comfortable working conditions and social protections to ensure a decent standard of living for everyone. This is often achieved through higher taxes for higher income earners. This relaxed attitude contrasts with the United States' cutthroat pursuit of growth at any cost. In theory, this difference in approach can explain the divide. However, it is worth noting that many European countries, particularly those known for their strong social policies, actually have higher rates of involvement with new business ventures. Europeans also have a tendency to work fewer hours, prioritizing a comfortable work-life balance compared to their counterparts in the United States. This observation is supported by data. In Germany and France, the two largest economies in mainland Europe, employed individuals work an average of around 1,400 and just over 1,500 hours per year, respectively. Interestingly, despite the perception of the French as lazy, they actually work more hours than their industrious German counterparts. However, both countries fall significantly behind the United States, where the average employed person works nearly 1,800 hours per year. Working hours have decreased notably in the United States, approximately 25% since their peak in the 1950s and 10% since 2000. However, the reduction in working hours is even more substantial in major European countries. Germany, for instance, has seen a decline of nearly 50% in working hours. It is true that slower growth has been a characteristic of Europe, but a significant portion of this can be attributed to major economies prioritizing improved working conditions over higher output. While this approach does present challenges, especially when economic systems rely on stable growth, many individuals would gladly trade these problems for an additional 200 hours of free time each year. Economics is the study of how people interact with valuable resources, and few things are as valuable as people's time. Therefore, it is challenging to label Europe's situation as an economic failure. Rather, it reflects a decision that, like all economic decisions, involves trade-offs. These trade-offs may generate attention-grabbing headlines. Worker productivity, or the value produced by a worker in a given hour of work, is another significant factor. To enhance productivity, workers can be better educated for more skilled roles or provided with improved tools for greater efficiency. In terms of education, Europe and the United States are roughly comparable, with Europe slightly outperforming overall, but the USA attracting more international students. However, the USA has significantly better capital, with businesses investing more in their workers compared to their European counterparts. This is possible because the USA is an attractive destination for investors. It possesses the world's reserve currency, a robust legal system, a culture of innovation, and English as the dominant language. Additionally, it serves as a convenient one-stop shop for various business needs. Compared to Europe, which involves navigating multiple legal systems and languages, investing in the USA is more favorable. This advantage allows US companies, especially in the tech sector, to secure capital and rapidly expand globally, making them more likely to succeed. However, the future may bring changes as technology regulations evolve and a shift towards domestic industries and regional trade occurs. Europe, with its focus on close trade within the European Union, may not have benefited as much from globalization, but is also less affected by its contraction. Economic success encompasses various metrics, where Europe is on par or ahead of the USA. The European Union's fulfillment of its objectives will play a significant role in the success of European economies. Let's see what the future holds. So, these were the reasons why Europe is lagging behind. Perhaps it's time for the EU to up the ante to have any chance of economic revival. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more updates.